So welcome back to DC Silver Age Storytime, and today's story is Action Comics 253, published in June 1959, with story by Otto Binder and art by Jim Mooney, and this one is called The Secret of the Super-Orphan. First, Superman came along to perform his amazing super feats as the Man of Steel. Then there followed the Super Tales of Superboy when Superman was a youth. Now a third series of exciting adventures is launched, starring Supergirl, who is Superman's cousin from the planet Krypton. But unlike Superman or Superboy, the Girl of Steel remains unknown to the world as yet. And at the Midvale Orphanage, one day, no one suspects how Supergirl fulfills her own private mission in the secret of the Super-Orphan. So we open with they're having Get Acquainted Day, where prospective parents are going to come and possibly choose a child. We get a little thing. So somebody left the ice cream out. She uses her super breath to freeze it. Then we get a recap of the origin story, a very truncated. She pops out of the one-person ship, says, "Because I'm also from the planet Krypton, cousin, my father Zor-El was your brother, was a brother of Jor-El, your father." So that's not actually how it happened, but we get a whole recap from, I guess, the previous issue, and then explains how he sent her to Midvale Orphanage, and she calls herself Linda Lee. So then we see that the ice cream is served because even though it was melted, she has now frozen it again, which doesn't quite work like that, but okay. I've never understood the freeze breath, where the cold comes from, how Kryptonian's body can generate cold, but whatever. So she... Linda Lee is not prepared yet to get adopted, so she's actually going to sabotage herself. Great Krypton, any parents adopting me would soon find out I have superpowers. I promised Superman I wouldn't reveal I'm Supergirl for a while. I have an idea. So she looks in the guy's pocket, and it's kind of hard to see, but he's a member of the Plumbers Union. And so she says, "I've always dreamed of having a foster father whose job isn't ordinary. Are you a scientist or an author or somebody famous, Mr. Trent?" And the gentleman says, "Come, dear, we'll interview other girls. Linda wouldn't be happy with a common plumber." So off they go. So the kids are trying to perform for the parents, which, has that ever happened? That I don't know. I mean, I didn't live in the 1950s, but it seems hard to believe. Harry plays the violin. Dora has a lovely voice. Kathy is a graceful dancer. But this poor boy, the only thing he ever learned how to do was milk cows and work on a farm. But one of the prospective parents are farmers, so they would be a perfect match. A simple, honest boy, the kind I like. If you're not afraid of hard work, how would our farm suit you? We'll use you as slave labor if that's okay. But the people at the orphanage says, "I'm sorry, but our strict rule is to find folks who can afford raising a child properly. And in your case, I don't know why they even came, but they got rejected. Mr. Wilson could have been my new father if he had money, but now I'm just an orphan again." So she decides she's going to use her superpowers. "Cousin Superman said I could perform super feats when necessary as long as nobody sees me. I'll fly up through the clouds to reach the Wilson farm." So she burrows underground to look for any kind of precious metal, or probably oil, anything, coal, but she can't find anything under there. But she watches a newsreel of Superman, where there's these steps up to a petrified dinosaur farm. So these are all they're petrified dinosaurs. So the stairs get destroyed. So instead, Superman takes this giant javelin and punches a hole through so people can peep through and see the dinosaurs, which is less dangerous. So it gives her an idea. So here's what she does. She takes a boulder. Now, she's right out there in daylight. She drives the boulder into the ground. The boulder punches through the entire planet all the way to Italy. She really has some great aim. It says she has super aim. "My super aim made it come out where I planned it, in Italy, near a famous landmark. It will be visible from the other end of the hole through a telescope. Wilson can make money from it." Also, it goes through the earth with such force that The heat and it fuses the sides smooth so the hole won't collapse. So then people can use a telescope to peep through and see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. That seems so unlikely on so many levels. There's so many ways she could have helped the Wilsons make money, and that is one of the most ridiculous. But the cave does collapse, but not before they've already made a small fortune, and they can afford a child now. But unfortunately, they decide, let's not be farmers anymore. So, oh goodness, my plan boomeranged. They won't adopt Timmy unless they find out he has other interests besides farming. Oh, jeez. So, she decides she's going to help him put on a magic act. You'll do a magic show. When the Wilsons come today, I'll be your assistant. Do some general tricks first, then follow these instructions I wrote out to really impress them. So she uses her superpowers to assist him. So, for instance, he says, now watch closely, folks. I will wave my wand and make magic writing appear on the blackboard. But how can it work? It'll be a flop. But she uses her X-ray vision to burn out a message, presenting the boy wizard Timmy Tate. Then he wraps his beautiful assistant in chains, but they are real chains, and she bursts out of them. I could burst these real chains, I rounded up. Timmy will think they are trick chains from the magic set, and the audience will think it's an illusion. And then he says, presto, you will now defy gravity and rise magically in the air. It's easy for me to use my flying powers to float upward. Timmy will think I set up some invisible wires as props, and everyone else will think it's a trick. Or maybe they'll think you have superpowers. I'll see that the chest is smashed later as if by accident. Terrific, Timmy. You'll be a famous stage magician someday. Any parents can be proud of a son with talent like that. We'll make our adoption papers for you. So they want to make a little money off this young lad. Unfortunately, his tricks will not work anymore. So, because unfortunately he does not have a Kryptonian assistant. Later, as Linda Lee reads the news, I won't get any headlines for my feats, like my cousin Superman always does. But it's still super fun to work secretly as Supergirl and help others. I feel like this adoption's not going to work out well, but it is the Silver Age, so it probably will.